Any individual who has
There are
good faith.
people who really do heal people and stuff. I got a friend right now.
And they never go to the hospitals, right?
They
They never visit the hospitals.
But there is a distinction here. When any Christian that is born again does any miracle, it's not their own power that does
right.
it, it's the power of God that does it. So it's on their choosing.
Why is it that no Christian healer ever goes to a hospital and heals them? I work in a hospital. I invite you to bring those healers
There's many
and heal them.
testimonies,
Look, we don't need doctors, do we? We've never seen them. We just need healers. So go and heal them. Why not?
You're sick.
There are many recorded cases.
Sorry?
You're sick.
Talk about your own
Ignore
self.
the trolls. Ignore the trolls.
So, madam, Julie, you can
troll online.
Yes, Julia.
Julia. Jesus Christ, does he know everything God the Father knows?
Yeah. He does now. You know it is, yeah.
You have-
He does
He's
now,
been there
yeah.
before.
He does now. He does now. Yeah, he does now. Yeah.
Was there a point?
When he was here, he didn't.
Was there a point that this?
So which are you asking me? When he was here or
Was there a
now?
point Christ didn't know what the Father knew?
But you said he was 100% God when he was here. So it doesn't matter where he is.
He wasn't that. He was 100% God in character.
In character?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by character?
In nature.
In nature. So that means he's able to know everything that God knows. Because one of the natures is God is omniscience.
Don't worry.
No, but he wasn't omniscient when he was here because he.
But that is the nature of God.
No.
You said in nature he's
Yeah,
100%
but we're
God.
disagreeing on the nature of God. So he left his power behind, but he was in nature, in the way he acted, in his justice, he was still God.
Do you believe that in nature God is omniscient? That is the nature of God.
Yeah.
So why that nature is not in Jesus when he was on earth?
Because he made it clear in Philippians, he made it clear that he gave that up to come here as a human
So he
being.
gave up even the nature.
And he
let's
had
talk about
to,
that.
and he had to be.
Omniscience
He had
is
to be
nature.
to pay the price for our sin. He had to
It's
be
not a role,
human.
it's a nature.
He had to be human to pay the price.
Did you reflect on this giving up the nature of God? Whether it makes sense or not?
Not
reflected on
deeply, not
Okay,
deeply.
let me share you some reflections that I have done.
Okay.
If God's nature is
Yeah.
that He's all loving,
Yeah. Yeah.
then He will remain all loving throughout the time.
Absolutely.
He cannot be, 50% loving and 50% hateful.
Yeah, all loving when he was here. Yeah.
If the nature of God is all knowing, then He will be always all knowing.
No.
Okay.
No, he gave that up. He gave that up. In Philippines,
Okay,
it makes it clear he
okay.
gave
Give up
that
his
up.
So
loving
let's
nature.
No, not
go.
loving nature.
Let's go back to before
you're
giving up.
twisting my words. Come
Let's
on.
go back to before
Only
giving up.
knowledge.
Yeah, very good at twisting people's words, yeah.
At one point,
Yeah.
at one point, God or Jesus Christ in your belief,
Yeah.
He knew everything.
Yes, before he came to
At that time, did He know the future? When He knew everything.
before he came to Earth,
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Good. So He was someone who knew the past, the present, and the future.
Not once he came down here, he didn't.
No, I'm not talking about when He came
Okay,
down.
before he came. Yeah.
Before He came
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
He knew the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does He forget?
Once you're born as a baby, yes.
No, that's the human. That's
Yeah.
what she means. That's the human.
Yeah.
But the divine is not born. The divine remains divine.
Yeah. In nature, he was divine. Yes.
The
But
human
not-
can
not-
forget. The human is always forgetful.
But he was still fully human.
No, in
Yeah.
fact, Philippians 2 is the key verse to look at.
Yes, absolutely.
Who humbled and gave up
Yes.
the divinity,
Yes.
the human or the divine?
Jesus chose to come down.
Jesus wasn't human up there, was he? He became human
He didn't
in
give
your
up his
belief.
divinity.
So,
Yeah.
what?
You don't know. He didn't.
Okay.
He didn't
So-
give up his character in terms of his
What
love.
was given up?
He gave up his power. He gave up his supernatural power. He gave
Was the
up
divine?
his all-knowingness.
Was it the divine giving up something or the human giving up something?
I don't know.
The human is already ignorant. So it's no point discussing about the knowledge and all knowledge think about the human. Human is already ignorant.
The divine nature of Jesus, that's what he's
The
asking.
thing is, like,
So it's the divine nature that gave
Yeah.
up His divine knowledge. Now here is my question to this.
yeah.
Can, in your belief, God give up His nature? The answer is yes, right?
Not his love, not his character, not his love.
What about His
Not
life? What about His
character,
life?
but
Life,
his
life.
supernatural power, his knowledge.
What about His life?
What about his life?
Can He give up His life?
What's his human being? Yeah.
No, no, He's human. Can God cease to exist tomorrow and no more?
No.
Why not?
because he's God.
No. If he's God,
omnipresent,
if he's,
everything, you know.
no, he's omniscient as well.
Exactly.
So how is it that
Except that.
he gives up knowledge?
Yeah.
Don't worry,
How?
we'll struggle with it. So just throw loads of
How does he give up his knowledge?
You've got to keep jumping and jumping.
Yeah.
We keep finding more.
It's valid questions.
The problem is, my dear, that I have met with God and He has become real to me as I prayed and repented. I got filled with the Holy Spirit. And
Let me
I
tell you
know-
about my personal experience.
Yeah, go on then.
My life,
Yeah, go on.
when I read the Bible, I look at this.
Yeah.
I look at an individual,
Yeah.
he says, God is all knowledgeable. And then he becomes ignorant. And I say, this book is not from God. You know why? Because if you're all knowledgeable to begin with,
Yes.
you know the past, present, and the future, and you don't forget,
Yes.
the future is already known to you, and you will always know the future. There will be not a time, not even 33 years, 2000 years ago, you will always know the future. You will not ever be ignorant of it. Because you know the future already.
But that's not strictly
So,
true.
if you know the future already,
What does it change nature?
So
if-
in Revelation,
excuse me, listen. If you know the future already, can you then not know the future?
God can choose not to look at the future at certain times.
So God can choose not to be loving in certain times.
No,
Why not?
You're twisting. Loving is a completely different.
No,
That's his
different.
character.
Why is
I'm
God
defining
love,
his
so you
character
can't.
as love.
But as
His
in looking
nature,
into the
his
future,
nature. You can't change his
there's an action that
nature.
God can
But he
choose to
can
do
change.
or
He left his power behind. He left
Which
his
he
power
does in
His
behind.
knowledge.
Revelation, talks about how he chooses.
Where does he
Yeah,
leave
and
behind?
his knowledge. Yeah.
When Jesus
Yeah.
What does he lock up in a vault and locks it? And then access it
Well,
again?
it's quite possible God can do anything, can't he?
God can do anything?
Yeah. Except he can't sin against. He can't sin.
So the God
But-
can't do anything then?
Yeah, well, you're just
Everything. He can't do
you're
everything.
twisting
No,
things
I'm
again
not
in
doing
circles.
anything. Let me ask you again.
So
In your
I-
belief, can
I
God do
believe-
everything?
I believe that he can do most things.
So he can't do everything then.
Well, of course not.
Yeah.
So don't say God can do everything, including lying,
What she
sinning,
means by
not
that
knowing,
is within
being
the
ignorant.
context of
Yep.
what God is.
So God does
You're
things which.
taking absolute literal interpretation of what I'm saying when I'm struggling to find the words.
But did you not say?
He didn't leave behind his nature when he came here. He didn't leave behind his nature, but he did leave behind
What
his
of his
power.
knowledge?
He did leave behind his knowledge.
That is his
What does
nature.
it make?
His
Okay,
knowledge is
how
part
do
of
you
his nature.
explain?
No, I don't agree.
How do you explain God leaving his knowledge?
It's quite easy. He just leaves it behind, doesn't he? He has a brain that's born as a baby.
brain?
Yes, Jesus, as he's born as a baby.
Think about the divine
the thing
nature.
is, with Christianity, you have to humble yourself.
In Christianity, you have to humble yourself not to use your brain.
And you have to use your brain. I'm not
So
saying.
if you use
Jesus
your brain,
absolutely-
how can you
Why are you
believe in a
twisting what I
God?
said? You're twisting what I said.
How can you use
I
your
did
brains?
not say Christians shouldn't use their brains. I'm saying that Jesus was born as an ordinary human and he had
No,
to
but his
grow
question is
and
about the
mature.
divine part
Okay.
of Jesus.
You know
not
what?
the
I'm
evil.
going to ask you a very serious question about the nature of God.
Okay.
Very serious question. So you have to really think. Very serious question. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
is he dependent on the Father or independent of him?
When he was down here.
No, not down here. Irrelevant of time.
Okay. So is he dependent or independent?
Yeah.
He's part of an equal river. Not created. He's
I didn't
part
ask you any of that.
He's part of. Well, I'm answering
I
you.
didn't ask you
I don't
any
care,
of those
don't care
things.
what you ask me. I'm answering you.
Dependency, I'll tell you what I
I'm saying
mean.
He is part of
I
an
will
equal
tell you
with
and
God.
explain what I mean.
He's part of God's. Yes, he's part of God's.
I'll answer it
makeup.
for you. To answer the dependency, the best way to answer it is each of the parts of God have different roles and responsibilities. So the Father has certain responsibilities, the Son has responsibilities. To give you an example, the Son will be given the only responsibility to judge mankind. The Father is given the Son that responsibility. So in that way, there are roles and responsibilities. So if you want to call that dependency, in the sense that God,
I do understand the difference between role and dependency.
God-
In my vocabulary, there's a distinction.
that's great to know.
Right. So tell me about where they're dependent on each other.
So in that sense, they're dependent, in the sense that the Father is dependent on the Son to judge, because that is the responsibility of the Son to make
me
that
help you.
judgment. Did you get that?
Instead of getting roles, let me help you what I mean by dependency.
Okay.
Was Jesus in any way, shape or form dependent for his own existence on the Father?
Only when he was down here.
Yeah, when as a human.
Okay,
yes.
As human.
so let me even go back.
Apart
Before
from that, I don't believe-
okay,
no, he wasn't
before the
involved.
universe was created,
Yeah.
before the universe was created, so there is no universe,
Yeah.
there is no earth,
Yeah.
there's no you and me. At that point, was Jesus Christ in any way form or shape, dependent on the Father for his own existence.
No.
So he's independent of the Father for his own existence.
He's part of an equal with God, so he's part of God's makeup. So I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Let me explain to you
He's part
again.
of God's makeup.
I am dependent on God for my own existence. God gave me life and brought me into this existence. If God did not do that, I would not exist. Jesus Christ. Before the universe was created.
Always existed.
So
Jesus
before the
has
universe
always
was
existed.
created.
It's not created.
No, before the universe was created.
Yeah.
Was he dependent on the Father for his own existence?
Well, it's like, he's part of an equal with God. So they are dependent on each other.
very
Just
serious
like
question.
you're dependent on your heart to beat. So
not
you
only
have
his
blood.
existence,
It's like we are mind, body, and spirit. Your mind could think, I ought to be doing this. Your body could be thinking, I'd rather not do that. So we are three in one. We are even now makeup.
So was Jesus dependent on the Father for his existence or independent of him?
Neither. He's
can't have neither.
He's part of his makeup. You
you
can't.
can't have
He
neither.
actually doesn't because he's part of his makeup.
No, you can't have that way. You
part
can't.
of his makeup.
It's only one or the other. You can't have.
No, necessarily.
You can't have neither.
No. I think you can.
Okay,
no,
tell me.
Okay.
Tell me how
Yeah.
is it neither?
Because it's part of his makeup. It's part of Jesus is part of God's makeup. Jesus is part
Okay,
of God's
Mansoor,
makeup.
let's ask you this question. Do you believe Jesus can speak of his own?
Can speak
Of his own?
of his own. What do you mean of his own?
It means like the way you're speaking without anyone telling you what to say. Can Jesus do that? Wait, let me ask you.
Yeah. So. Yes, because
Yes?
they are three in one, but they are.
Because Jesus
also
says,
three
everything I
persons in
say
one.
is what I hear from the Father. I by myself cannot say anything.
When he was down here, he said that, but I don't believe that.
But you said he was 100% God.
Not when he was down here. He was only God in nature, 100% in nature. Yeah, 100% in nature. But he was completely dependent on God when he
Yeah,
was
but
down
speaking
here.
is nature.
He was completely dependent on God. No. When I say
How can
nature,
100%
I'm
God be
talking-
dependent
When
on
I say
God?
nature, I'm talking about character. Jesus he was fully loving in character, but he left his power behind, he left his knowledge behind, and he became fully human.
By the way, knowledge is not character. Knowledge is also nature. You
Well, I
to
don't agree. I don't
look,
agree.
Either go and look at the word.
Well, we disagree then.
Wait. When you say knowledge,
Yeah.
yes, knowledge is not your nature. It is something you acquire as a human being. Do you agree? On the other hand, God always has knowledge. So it's part of his nature. You cannot say it's something he acquires.
Is his knowledge perfect?
Your character you acquire, your knowledge you acquire. But in the case of Jesus, or in the case of God Almighty,
Yeah.
it is part of his nature. Same thing with immortality.
Don't agree.
Immortality is where
I
you do
don't
not.
agree. When Jesus came to earth, he was fully human, fully God in nature, but he left his power behind, he left his knowledge behind.
So he wasn't fully God then?
Okay, in that case, we have
he
to
was,
really
yeah.
ask her, what is the meaning when you say Jesus was fully God in his
Exactly.
nature on earth?
He
What do you
wasn't
understand?
fully
by that?
God. You said he left something, then he wasn't fully God.
No, because I want to know which is the 100% nature of God that he has
Essence.
when he's on earth.
So now you
Because-
believe he wasn't fully God. Because fully
Yeah,
God
fully
means
God in nature.
all
Fully
knowledgeable.
God in nature, but he chose to come down here
No.
as a human.
If he comes down here not knowing the hour, then he's not fully God, is he? In his nature.
Comes down here not knowing.
When the hour is going to be established, the end of the world,
Oh yeah, no one knows except the Father.
then
yeah.
he is not
Well,
fully God then.
But when he goes back to the Father, he now
No,
knows.
before
he
you go
knows,
back-
he knows the
Okay,
time.
the
He
problem
knows
with that
that.
statement.
These
can I just
33
explain that?
years
Go on,
of this
go
ministry,
The problem with that statement is at the time when Jesus said that he did not know, only the Father knows.
Mark 13:32.
When we go to
was he
Revelation,
correct in saying that?
can I just explain that? So in Revelation, what that
Yeah.
talks about is that God was going to establish the date of Jesus' return,
Yes.
and he was dependent on certain things of mankind to take place.
No problem.
So at that time, God had not established that date.
Well, he has to establish that day.
That date is still to be
When he
established.
says God, which God?
Because,
What do you mean
because the
God? You mean the
Father
Father?
is waiting upon certain human events, and that's what's explained in
The
Revelation.
Father doesn't know the future already, he
So
said.
you agree that the Father knows, Jesus didn't know at that time. You're saying exactly
No,
what
he's saying the
Mansoor-
Father
he does-
doesn't know.
No, he does know, because what happens is this: is that
The Father hasn't decided.
the Father will, because once those things take place, the Father will know, and when the Father knows, he will then relay it to Jesus.
No, but Jesus says only
So
the
at
Father
that-
knows. He
yeah.
already said it.
So at that
Before,
time,
before the.
Did you understand what he
already knew
said?
it.
The Father doesn't even know. Father doesn't know the future.
Well,
That's what he's saying. The
think
Father
that's a
doesn't know the
cop-out from
future.
So what happens there?
He knows it.
yeah.
So the Father isn't God either.
But we
No,
don't.
no,
we
no,
don't
Father is
no,
also
no,
ignorant.
no.
we don't actually know that.
No, no, no.
Jesus doesn't
The
know
Father
now. Hang on, we
doesn't-
don't actually know that.
Did you
Jesus
hear
doesn't know
your
now.
friend
Yeah,
what he
that's
said? The Father doesn't know.
Father knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Knows.
But that's.
He says Father doesn't know.
But the Revelation puts
He's going
the
against
context-
Jesus.
No, no.
You are.
Okay.
Revelation
Before
puts
the
it in
universe was created, does the Father know everything that's going to happen in the future?
Got to put it in context.
It says only the Father knows.
Who knows? I don't know if we know.
What does the
or
text
not.
say?
Okay, you have to-
Is he all knowledgeable?
Yeah.
Then he knows the future already.
Yeah.
Jesus
Right.
is-
But Jesus says, I don't know, only the Father knows. So he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know, okay.
He's human.
If you are unknowledgeable to begin with, can you then be ignorant 5%?
So again,
If you are 100% knowledgeable,
yeah.
can you then be 5% ignorant later?
He's not 100% knowledgeable. He's human. He's taken on human form.
If you are 100% knowledgeable to begin with, can you then be 5% ignorant later?
Yeah, because you're born into a human body down here.
So if you are 100% knowledgeable means that your knowledge is not perfect. Is that what you're saying? That you can become less than knowledgeable later?
If you become human down here, yeah. If you take on human form and you leave behind
I'd like to leave you to reflect on this, because all knowledgeable of the present, past and future means there will be no time. You see what I mean by...
Jesus fully says in Philippians that he becomes human.
Okay, let me explain. Imagine this is past.
So, you know.
Okay, this is
So he
past.
doesn't have all knowledge, no.
Past, present and future.
Yeah.
God knows all of this already.
Yeah.
It's in his knowledge. Can he now forget what's here?
No.
Exactly.
I don't know that God does know. Actually,
Let me explain something.
Oh, you don't know God's not everything?
Yeah.
So there's a slight flaw in what you're saying. There's a flaw.
In Islam, the alternative I'm offering you, the alternative, God is perfect in his nature. He's all knowledgeable, all wise, all powerful.
Immortal.
Yes? He doesn't die.
He goes around killing people.
All loving
who are not Muslims.
Well, he's not
All merciful.
He's not all loving.
Killing people. I mean, this
But anyway-
really shows...
Anyway,
What does God say about killing in the Quran?
the thing is,
No, please. What does Allah, God, say about killing in the Quran?
Surah 9:5 says, kill all those who don't convert.
Hold on to this.
Surah 9:5.
Surah 9:5 says kill who?
You've been listening to Jay Smith for a long time, I guess.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, thank you.
From other places, actually.
Actually, very wise of you.
So now,
Not listening to him is good.
Yeah, so Surah 9:5, yeah.
Says what?
I don't know exactly, but it's along the lines of, kill those who don't convert, basically.
Okay.
In the context of
Sure.
Okay.
Surah 9:5,
Yeah.
God says kill.
Can't be
Right?
objective.
Kill who?
It says to all the world.
Those who don't convert. Those who don't convert to Islam.
Yes, it does.
You wanna get your glasses?
put that in.
My glasses are a bit blurry as well. Which verse?
Show me all the world.
Should
read it.
The thing is, though, I've read this before, and I know there's no context for Surah 9:5. I know
There is the context.
There isn't.
Just the verse before and the verse before and the verse before.
No,
So start from
no,
one.
No.
Okay, let me
Surah
tell you.
9. No, don't bother. Surah
I
9
will.
No, let me finish. I've spoken to loads of Muslims. 9:5 stands alone. It has no context.
I will give you the
It has no
context.
context. It doesn't.
One more time
You're lying
before
to
you.
me. You're lying to me. It doesn't have a context.
I think it's always good to
9:5,
learn.
no.
Let's not close
you're
our minds.
lying to me. You're lying to me.
I haven't said anything.
I've checked this out with former Muslims. I've checked this out with a guy who's...
How about one
who's,
more?
Muslims, remember,
one more.
not Muslims.
Because
Just one more time.
Because you're not telling me
So,
how.
look, I
The
haven't...
problem is,
Maybe
you
I should
guys,
go and ask Burmans
the
about the
problem
born
is
again
you guys can lie to me
I
as
find
part
it-
of Islam.
I find it very
So
strange
How can I believe you?
that
How can I believe you?
Islam is the epitome where there is no lying in this religion, and you're now saying you can lie to me?
It's absolutely there in the hadith that you can lie to people.
Allah is
It's
the
absolutely
greatest
there.
of
It's
deceivers.
absolutely there. Absolutely there.
Here is-
no, you are lying to me.
excuse
None of the
You are
Quran
lying to me,
translations
sorry.
say that.
So
Stop
far,
lying.
you have been
Stop-
using
stop
your
lying.
intelligence,
100% does.
but suddenly you switch to an emotional
Break up.
mode.
No,
I'll show you the deception of your
Right.
body.
I'm
Right.
using my intelligence.
Good.
I have spoken to many Muslims. I know that Surah 9
Exactly.
stands alone.
Sure.
It is the third
How
stage
about-
of jihad. The first stage is lying, isn't it?
wasn't
Jihad. The
okay.
third stage of jihad is Surah 9.
Would you just spare 2 minutes to understand the context whether it
I've had
exists
it
or not?
explained to me lots of times.
And
But
I will
I am-
demonstrate to you now, God willing, I will demonstrate
So-
to you that you have not read the context
So,
so obvious
hang on.
from verse
Before
1.
you go on, it depends on me believing that you're not lying to me.
You read it yourself.
I know what it says. I know what it says.
What does it say from
I know
verse
what
1?
it says, but I know Surah 9:5 stands alone.
Excuse me.
I know Surah 9:5
Okay,
stands
fine.
alone.
Because somebody
I know
told you
that
so?
you're lying to me. because many Muslims
Excuse me.
have told me.
Now,
I've read a PhD.
do I have the
ex-Muslim,
honor
whatever.
and integrity?
I have
Ex-Muslim?
read-
Did you
And-
say ex-Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what earlier
Okay,
you said,
more
listen,
honest than you guys.
Okay.
listen. I have an ex-Christian, he's called Bart Ehrman, and he said everything you said about small differences in the manuscript, he said the complete opposite of what you said, Julie. So I'm saying you're lying.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, using your own
No, it
logic.
does not say
Hashim,
that.
I'm not lying.
I can bring you the evidence if you
because
want.
you
Shall I?
because you insulted my
Bart Ehrman was
honor.
an ex-Christian.
You insulted my honor that you called I'm lying. Now allow me to defend my honor.
I've had it defended
At
many
least
times.
be kind enough
I've
to,
had
no. You insulted me, my honor of
Okay.
being a truthful person.
Okay, so I'll tell-
give me
Okay.
kindness
Okay.
to respond to you
Okay, hang on.
of the accusation that
Hang
you've
on.
made of my character.
Okay, so I'll tell you what the context is.
Go
Okay?
about
No, I don't want you to tell me right
The
now.
context-
I will want you to
Context.
read from verse
I
1
don't
to
want to
5.
read it. The context is that you guys are saying that a treaty was broken, and that is why those people were killed.
Oh, so
Am
now
I
you got a
right?
context.
That is the
All this
context.
time she's saying there was no context.
But
So
I
now-
know in Islam that context
Okay.
doesn't stand.
So let's-
That is a construct of the West. That is
Okay,
a
let him
construct of the
explain
West.
it to you.
Let's
And it's
read it
right.
then. Let's
no,
read it.
I'm not interested because I know you're lying to me.
Suddenly,
I know, no.
you're
give him a chance.
insulting someone's character.
No, I'm not.
Have
I'm
I
telling-
insulted
I'm telling
your
you the
character
truth.
ever?
I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
I'm telling you the
Julie,
truth. I'm telling you the
Julia,
truth.
have I insulted you by saying you're lying?
You can do. I don't care. If I'm
Why should
lying,
I?
if well,
We don't know you that well.
I would
should
take
I?
it. I would take it as an insult. If you thought I wasn't telling the truth, I would receive what you're saying and
Julia,
I'd go look it up.
Julia,
and I'd go, I would
Julia.
take it as an insult. I would take it as an insult.
You're finding it very difficult to deal with the truth.
It's not the truth.
Right, then.
Because it's not the truth.
Okay.
You're lying to me. I know you're lying to me.
If I read the text, I'm lying to you.
Because in the Quran, verses stand alone. I know Surah 9:5 stands alone. I know
Surah 9:5 says.
I have it on the authority of many Muslims. I've got a Muslim in
No,
my
you said
church.
former Muslims.
I've got a Muslim in my church. You know, he lost
A Muslim
an
goes to
eye.
church.
in the church.
Yeah.
I'm Muslim in the
Ex-Muslim.
church.
Lies after lies after lies.
Ex-Muslim.
Ah, that's better.
Sure.
You know, and in Egypt.
And he's not lying, right?
Yeah, I believe he's not. Yeah,
you believe he's not lying.
Yeah.
Very good. You have a good opinion of someone's character, but not me. But because you insulted my character, at least have the decency
But I told
in
you
a
the
civilized world.
I told you the context.
Decency. No, no.
I told you the context.
Give me the opportunity
Mansu,
to
just
tell
read
me.
it. Just read it.
Right.
Whether she likes
Now,
it or
I
not,
want
just
you
read
I
it.
to
told you
listen.
the context.
Because we read the Bible, it's only fair we read the Quran.
Now, even verse
If she wants to go
5,
away, that's fine.
even verse 5 says, then when. That means there's a context to it already. Before then.
No, you're lying. There is no context.
Continue, Mansu. Just ignore her. Just continue. She's become a troll now.
She's too scared, man.
Why?
I'm scared.
Scared of the truth, yeah.
I'm not scared of the truth.
Why is it that?
You guys are scared of the truth.
Why
You are
is
very
it that?
scared
Should
of
be
the
like
truth.
that.
When
You're scared of the truth.
When I'm just reading 4 verses before and maybe 1 or 2 verses afterwards,
Yeah.
you're finding it difficult to digest the truth.
Because I know it's not the truth.
Okay,
Because I know.
Then,
I've
you should be
researched
able
this.
to.
I've researched
Then you should be able to.
9:5 was Muhammad's last will and testament.
just read it,
It's
bro.
the final. It's the final verse, and it's ordered that you guys.
It's not the final verse.
It is the final bit that Muhammad gave you guys.
Freedom from all obligation. A declaration of freedom from all obligations from Allah and His Messenger to those of the mushrikun, the polytheists, with whom you make a treaty.
There is a treaty. Thank you.
So here we find that God is annulling a treaty that was made between the mushrikun and who? Not you and I, the Muslims then. So it establishes one thing from verse 1. There was a treaty between them, Muslims and non-Muslims, and the
point is, brother,
excuse me,
no,
Julia, Julie, it's important to hear a different perspective. It's important to hear it.
I have loads of times.
You haven't heard Mansoor.
One more.
You might learn
Right?
something.
One more.
Okay.
Trust me, you will.
Right.
Okay, go
So
on.
you have here a statement that there was a treaty,
Yeah.
and God is saying the treaty is totally annulled.
Yeah.
And we know why, because just a few verses later, God does tell why the treaty is annulled, because they broke their treaty.
Yeah.
So there's no longer a treaty of what? This treaty was a treaty of peace between the two parties.
Yes.
So there's no longer peace anymore.
Yes.
What is then God is saying? So travel freely, O mushrikun, O polytheists, for 4 months. So God is giving them 4 months to travel free in the land, throughout the land, but know that you cannot escape from the punishment of Allah. And Allah will disgrace the disbelievers. So God has given them not 1 day of notice, 4 months. After the treaty has been totally annulled, you're now back in a state of war. Doesn't matter what you believe.
Because
This
nine.
is history.
No.
History.
No,
Let
it's
me
not,
finish.
it's not. 9
So,
stands alone.
you know what? If you keep on believing this without examining the text, then every time you come across a Muslim,
It's a Western construct. You guys use that to make out
excuse me,
Islam's a
we believe in war too.
Too?
Yes, we believe in war too. Is that a Western contract?
Jesus didn't teach war.
I'm not a Jesus
Only in the
follower.
Old Testament.
I'm a follower of this
Yeah,
Quran.
exactly.
So now,
So
is this
Jesus
so
followers
me?
are not-
So me
not-
believing in a war is that a Western construct?
It's an ancient construct.
It's the Quranic construct. So let's go back to the Quran. So here, 4 months are given them to travel
Yeah.
freely,
Yeah.
and then it says what? And a declaration from Allah and His Messenger to mankind on the greatest day, that Allah is free from the obligation to the mushrikun, the polytheists, and so His Messenger free from the obligations. So if you repent, the mushrikun, the polytheists, it is better for you.
It won't work.
So
But
is
if
that
you
what-
turn away, then know that you cannot escape from God and give good tidings of a painful torment to those who disbelieve.
It won't
So
work.
clearly a declaration is made in a greatest day, not just treaties broken in silence, it was made public. So everyone knows the public declaration
But
of
you-
please, annulment of a treaty.
But you
Then-
don't believe that.
then-
You don't believe that.
Then
You believe 9/5 stands
Let him
alone.
finish.
excuse me, then it continues. Except what? An exception. Did you even know there was an exception?
Go on.
Before I go on,
No,
this
I
is
probably didn't know.
this is verse 4.
Okay.
Just how many
I thought you
thousand
looked at the treaty.
brother, how many hundreds of verses before? One verse before. Just the previous verse.
But it's still not seen as context.
Please.
You're not telling me the truth.
Excuse me. An
You don't
exception.
believe what you're telling me.
Excuse
You
me.
don't believe what you're telling me.
Excuse me. An exception. Except those of the mushrikun with whom you have a treaty and who have not subsequently failed you in might, nor have supported anyone against you. So fulfill their treaty to them for the end of their term. Allah loves the pious, the muttaqun.
Julie.
So
You're in
now you have
I know this Surah 9/5 stands alone. I
Excuse
have
me.
it on good authority.
Julie,
That's the context.
now you have
So
an
I don't
exception.
believe what you're saying.
Now you have an exception on this
Regardless.
treaty where there
I
were
don't believe what you're saying. I don't believe you believe what you're saying. I believe you
Julie-
believe the 9/5 stands alone. What's your name, by the way?
Mansoor.
Mansur.
Mansoor. Mansoor, the helped one. God helped. Helping. God is helping me. Mansoor. Yes? That's what it means. Now, as you realize, the exceptions are there. There are other groups of people where there was a treaty for a long term because they have not broken the treaty or committed wrong against the Muslims.
I'd love to
or not-
believe you, brother,
Excuse me.
but,
Excuse
I think
me.
you have made up your mind, isn't
We
it?
are-
Regardless of
I've
what
been
he
told
says.
by many Muslims.
That's what
We
I'm saying.
are-
You've made up your mind. So
We
you're
are
close-minded.
reading the text.
I
This text says,
You know,
do not.
you know what?
Excuse me. This text says, fulfill the treaty until the end of their term. Some of them was more years.
Just giving it to you if you only listen.
Right.
Keep them open.
Okay.
I know.
You know what?
If I believed it had
So,
context, I would be listening to you.
Next, okay, verse 4 is gone, so there's an exception.
You know
not
what, though?
everyone, I'm not finished yet, so
No,
that's not
let me
everyone.
just say something. You know, I had this debate with somebody. It was only a week ago.
Verse 5.
About 2 weeks ago, very debate, and he stood here and told me what you're telling me, and I believed him. And I went back and I checked with loads of other Muslims, and I'm told
Ex-Muslims, you mean?
that
The ones in your
Noah-
church.
Yeah, and not much. This guy's a Malaysian guy. He's got 3 fatwas.
It doesn't matter, he's still an ex-Muslim.
Yeah, exactly. And they tell the truth.
So how can I believe
They-
Julie when she consults
They-
ex-Muslims to know the Quran?
The Muslims.
Imagine I go and consult a Mormon to
Yeah.
read your born-again Christian Bible.
Yeah.
What will you tell me?
But they
are
know.
not Christians.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is Julie's
You are commanded to lie.
principle to listen to people just like
Because
Jasmine,
they tell the
to
truth.
go and consult
Because
people
they
who are
tell
not
the truth.
Muslims
You guys
to
are
learn
lying.
about the Quran.
You guys are lying.
Trust me.
I've read. You guys are lying.
You don't even know me. How do you know I'm a liar?
Because the Quran tells you to lie. And
Where?
the hadith-
Where?
the
Well,
hadith-
Where?
oh, now you see now the hatred comes out.
Where does the Quran tell us
It
to
is,
lie?
it is, it
Excuse
is.
me.
You see, I'm just telling the truth.
Julie-
By the way,
How's that hatred? How's
did
that
you not
hatred?
say? Did you not say the Bible manuscripts have no mistakes? Only a few
No, I
of them.
didn't.
It is on camera.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, half.
The Quran-
It is on camera.
Only a
Okay?
few mistakes.
You said only a few mistakes.
You said no mistakes.
Ashim.
Few mistakes. Yeah.
You said,
Alex,
before we go to verse 5,
Give me a
the
minute.
Quran,
You can.
you made a claim, the Quran commands us to lie, right?
Where is it?
You just said
The
that.
hadiths. The hadiths.
Okay, not the Quran.
hadiths.
Okay, very good.
Even the hadith doesn't.
Even the said Quran, but
No,
now
no, she said it.
okay, hadith. Okay, we'll talk about hadith in a second. Verse 5.
But dear,
Uh-oh.
you know,
Julie,
I can't
Julie,
be bothered. I can't
Julie,
be bothered.
we're now in
You
verse
guys-
5.
You know,
Verse
and the
5.
trouble is, you guys shoot yourselves in the foot because you're
Julie.